Today we're going to talk about pedigrees. There's your heading, pedigrees, and there's a definition. So, pedigree is a diagram of family relationships that uses symbols to represent people and lines to represent genetic relationships. I know that's long, but you probably need to write that down. I'm guessing you've done some pedigree stuff with Mrs. Ebert. In 6th grade. If I'm going too fast, please just pause. Okay, so that's what a pedigree looks like, and they show how certain traits are going to run in the family. Now, if you know these things, you don't have to write it down, but if you're not sure, you might want to jot them down in your notes. But a male is represented by a square. A female is represented by a circle. A male is a square, a female is a circle. Okay, now we're going to leave some of them shaded, some of them unshaded, and some of them partway shaded. So, depending on the example, we're going to use eye color, brown eyes, blue eyes, and the carrier would be half. And we're going to use my personal family example. All right, so let's just, okay, so here we go. Brown eyes is dominant, blue is recessive. Okay, so brown eyes is dominant, blue eyes is recessive. So the letter we're going to use is B because brown is dominant, so we're going to use B. Brown would be big B. Blue would be little b. Okay? Now, if this is a male here, okay, and let's say it has brown eyes, it's homozygous for brown eyes, we're going to say big B, and we're going to leave it unshaded. If this is a male that has blue eyes, it's little b, and we're going to shade it all in. If it's a carrier, it's going to have big B, little b, and we're going to shade in half. Okay? So big B, anytime the brown-eyed trait is not getting shaded in. The blue-eyed is, and this would be a carrier. That means it's brown-eyed, but it's a carrier for blue eyes. Okay? And all of them in this little instance, they're squares, so they're going to be male. Okay? Now, my family. True story here. My dad has blue eyes. Actually, let's do my whole family here. My mom and my dad are together, so you put a little line between them. That means they're together, like they mated, they're married. Okay? They had 4 kids. Now, usually you start with the oldest, and then you go to the youngest. So my dad is older than my mom, so I put my dad first. My mom is second because she's younger. I am the oldest child, so I would be a box. Then I had a little brother, 2 years younger, so he's a box. Then I have a sister. And then my youngest sibling is my little brother. So that's how my family should look. Okay? Now, my dad has blue eyes. So he would have to be little b, and I would shade him all the way in. My mom has brown eyes. Now, I don't know if she's homozygous brown, if she has big B, or if she's big and little. I don't know. So right now we're just going to leave her blank. Okay? Now me, I have blue eyes. So little b, and I shade it all in. My brother here has brown eyes. So he would be big B, little b. He gets the big B from my mom. We know that he's a little b because my dad is blue-eyed, so he's either going to get this little b or this little b from my dad. So my brother here is a carrier for blue eyes. My sister also has brown eyes. So she would be the same because she got the big B from my mom and one of the little b's from my dad. My little brother has blue eyes. So he'd be little b, all the way shaded. So now judging by this, what would you say the second letter for my mom is? She would have to be what? Little b. She would have to be a carrier for blue eyes. Because I have blue eyes. My little brother has blue eyes. Okay? Meaning we got one little b from dad, we had to get the other one from mom. If she was big B, big B, we would all be brown-eyed. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, we could go even further. My wife, who's older than me, make sure you tell her that. So she'd be on this side. She has blue eyes. We have two little boys. Can you guess what color their eyes are? Absolutely right. Blue eyes. They had to be. If one of them was brown-eyed, I have to start asking some questions here because none of us have the brown-eyed allele. We could have 1,000 kids and they would all be blue-eyed because she's homozygous blue-eyed, I'm homozygous blue-eyed. Now, my little brother is married also. His wife has blue eyes. And they have a little girl who's got blue eyes. And they are expecting one, and they don't know if it's a boy or girl yet, but you know that would have to be blue-eyed. So it's kind of fun to take your whole family and kind of unravel the parts and figure these things out. Let's call that it. All right. We will do an example of this probably later on, but that's it for the notes.